Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another Monster Hunter Cross video, but also the start of a brand new series that I wanted to kick off. The series is going to be called What's It Sayin', and while this particular episode focuses on Monster Hunter Cross, the idea behind the series is so that I can talk about any game I want. See, it occurred to me that while I spend a lot of time making kind of factual, informational videos for you guys where I kind of tell you everything you need to know about a particular topic, I don't actually spend a lot of time or kind of ever do any videos where I really share my own opinions, and that is precisely the reason for this series. The reason for the name is, well, it's kind of different, but it's also like a slang phrase that I use typically a lot with my friends. Like, what's it saying basically means, how is it? For example, like if I get a brand new game and I play it, my friends haven't, then they'll typically say to me, you know, what's it saying? Which effectively means, is it any good? And these videos or this series is therefore my way of telling you. So with that being said, it's worth mentioning this series won't be a review. It's more just like a place for me to kind of put my impressions out, my thoughts, and just kind of like throw it into a video and just like chat and basically just say what I think. So, as mentioned, this episode focuses on Monster Hunter Cross, and you guys might be thinking, well, isn't it a bit weird to kind of put out an impressions video when A, the game isn't even out, and B, the demo hasn't even been out for 24 hours? But actually, that's precisely why I do want to do it. You see, I've been a long time fan of the Monster Hunter series. I've been with it since like Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, or Freedom Second in fact, and Monster Hunter Cross is the first time I've ever actually played one, and right from the start I've been like, you know what, yes, this is just right on like so many levels. I mean, of course, there are a couple of things that I'm not entirely sure I agree with, but of course I'll kind of discuss that in the video. But for the most part, this is just like, I have had so much fun today. I mean, in and among kind of all the videos that I've been doing today, I've basically just had like my 3DS on sleep. So anytime like a video is rendering or something like that's happening, I've been like jumping onto my 3DS and just playing the demo. Bear in mind, the demo is pretty short. It's got 3 different monsters. While it has, of course, got the 14 weapons and all the different styles, effectively what you can do is quite limited. But yet that hasn't deterred me at all. I kind of keep playing it, and it's just like, it just feels like a brand new game. I mean, it's a weird thing to say because it is a brand new game, but when a game is kind of typically built on, say, an existing engine, it's kind of built with like a lot of the previous content with some new stuff in it, then people tend to kind of like, you know, raise an eyebrow if someone sort of says it's like a brand new game. But the point is, even though it doesn't actually have any brand new weapons, the 4 styles for the 14 weapons kind of just make it feel like every single weapon is brand new. I mean, if you guys watch my Monster Hunter for Ultimate videos, you'll know that while I kind of did tutorials for all the videos, I typically mained, 2, maybe 3 weapons. But this time around, I've been playing with all the weapons today, off stream and on stream, and kind of like messing around with all of them. And it's just like, I almost want to use every single one. They're all fun in their own way, like certain weapons suit different styles, but every single one I picked it up and I've been like, you know what? If I'm playing the full game, I could actually see myself using this. I mean, I'm definitely going to still have like a focus when I go to the full game, but I definitely do feel like I'm going to have more incentive this time around to want to make different weapons and just kind of mix it up, which keeps things fresh. It's really nice. Like, this is one of those things where, like, I thought to myself, I'm going to invest a lot of time in this. Like, I'm going to be making a lot of videos. Is there the risk that I'm going to kind of get burnt out? And if we do get a Western release date, am I then going to kind of get to the Western version and be like, you know what, I don't really want to play it? And honestly, I don't think that's going to happen because, I mean, okay, again, obviously I've played it for less than 24 hours, so I could well change my mind a week down the line. But honestly, I just think there's just so much depth to it. This actually looks like it's shaping up to be potentially the biggest Monster Hunter game, bar like Frontier or anything like that. But as like handheld games go on, or like the portable series goes, then this definitely looks like it could be shaping up to be like one of the biggest ones. There's just like so much content, it's insane. One of the kind of take home points for me is definitely got to be the fact that like the different styles seem to cater to so many different audiences. I mean, like, Monster Hunter has always been a massive thing in Japan, but when it came over to the West, there was clearly like, prior to 4 Ultimate and like the sales doing really well, like 3 Ultimate, it was kind of a mixed bag. There were a lot of people that the diehard fans got it and they loved it, but anyone else was sort of like a little bit lost. Whereas I think these new styles kind of like break it up in a really good way. I mean, you take something like Striker, in fact, Striker's actually my favorite style, but you take something like Striker where it's got a more simplified moveset. So the core moveset is, some of the kind of like fancy extra things aren't in there. So like Sword and Shield, you don't have the backwards hop charge, or like some of the other things, like I believe Dual Swords doesn't have the actual demon gauge bar, but yeah, it's much more like down to basics. It's almost like kind of back to core. I probably wouldn't go as far as to say like Monster Hunter Freedom Unite kind of movesets, but like I think probably the best way to explain it, kind of I said it in a video before, is that it sort of like streamlines the sort of combat experience so it's kind of sort of like funnel you into a different style of play. Either way, that is, that's like one completely different style. But then of course you've got something at the completely other end of the spectrum with like Bushido, where like it requires you to be able to like read the monster, read the situation, and if you don't really know how to use it, I mean, my very first Bushido hunt was horrendous. Like, you guys didn't even see it. I was messing around trying to get it to work, and it was just like, it was terrible. So like, obviously, that's where kind of like, I think it's a really cool thing. Like, the different kind of styles do cater to different, like, completely different styles of play. And that's just like a really cool thing. I mean, a couple of like pet peeves for me is probably going to be where some styles just feel like they just don't suit weapons. But I think, again, this is the thing. Like, they've given people options for every single weapon. Doesn't necessarily mean they're all going to work. Like, Charge Blade, I don't like Striker. I just definitely don't like it. I mean, you can't, one of the main nerfs for Charge Blade is that you actually like lost, you can't go shortcut to Ultra, so you can't go shield thrust into Ultra anymore. Like no matter what style you use, you can't do that. Like weapons, Guild style, Bushido style, and Aerial style do still have the shield thrust, whereas Striker doesn't. But none of them can like shortcut into Ultra, and of course things like guard points will leave you in Axe mode a lot of the time. So obviously like Charge Blade is like a great example of, I mean, it's a weapon that needed a nerf. Let's be honest, it was like a massive powerhouse in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, and while it was a weapon that I love using, it definitely did more than it should have done. So I think they kind of like tried to balance it out a little bit more and probably bring it a bit more in line with some of the existing weapons. But at the same time, it definitely, and also one of the other main changes now is that it kind of seems to, or at least kind of from what I've seen, it seems like they're kind of trying to encourage you to use the axe more. Like I used to use Charge Blade as basically an Ultra sword and shield. I would basically never use axe mode apart from for ultras. I would go sword and shield all the time, shortcut to ultra, shortcut to super, whatever it is, and then job done. Whereas now a lot of things do put you in axe mode, so it's almost like they're trying to say, hey, you know, don't forget there is an axe here, you can use it, kind of thing. So it's yeah, it's definitely really cool. I think overall, from like my my limited time, I mean, I'm probably going to do another one of these videos once like, the game actually comes out, and kind of like do like a refined impressions once I've kind of played the actual whole story mode and some of the other stuff as well, and like seen the wider content. But from what I've played so far, I am just super impressed. Like, I've honestly had so much fun with this. I mean, I've been covering Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate for just over a year now, and while I do still love the game, you know, I was kind of getting to the point where at the end I was kind of running out of things to cover, and it was getting a little bit stale for me. But Monster Hunter Cross just breathed life back into it. I'm just super looking forward to making videos, super looking forward to playing it. I mean, that's just the defining thing. I mean, you know, I don't just like make videos for it. Like when I've finished, I'm just like, right, let me just jump back on and play again. So yeah, in short, when you ask what's it saying, the answer is it's saying a lot. It's good. So that's pretty much it. That's it for episode 1. That's it for like the beginning of this series. If you guys can let me know in the comments down below what you think of this, whether you like the idea of just kind of like me just sort of spewing out my opinions. Of course, I will still keep all the factual stuff, don't worry, there will be like tutorials and guides coming your way, but this is just really a chance for me to be a little bit more personal, kind of just chat to you guys and be like, hey, this is me, this is what I think. You know, fair enough, you guys might not necessarily always agree. I will of course at times have different opinions to you, but that's why it's an opinion. So yeah, if you guys like this idea, if you guys want to sort of see more of this, then do let me know. And if there is a game coming out, of course, and you want to know what it's saying, then similarly let me know. Shout out on Twitter, follow me on Twitter, hit me up and be like, hey, Xenoblade's coming out, what's it saying? Or Division's coming out, what's it saying? You know the idea. That's what I want to kind of get going. So keep that in mind. You're going to see these videos popping up from time to time whenever there's like a new game. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.